All right, there are teams out there that desperately need quarterbacks. I have no idea how to make a transition from that to this.
Right.
Our draft today, and we're doing it a little earlier than usual because it's relevant to the conversations we've just had.
Right.
The teams that are most desperate for a quarterback. Here is the trivia question, which one of the benefits of doing it early is we have time for a trivia question.
I like it.
Determine the first pick in the draft. What team threw for the fewest passing yards in 2023?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't look at stats or anything like that, right? So I'd always try to play it real here. My thought, and this is not my answer yet. I'm into I feel like it's either the Patriots or the Jets, right? And I feel like I'm gonna go with the Jets. Damn.
I would have gone with the Steelers, but it is the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, it is the Panthers. Damn. I wrote them down, but I thought, maybe they threw a little more yards than I thought. So, yeah. Well, we know that offense struggled. And
161.2 yards per game.
They need more than
maybe
that.
Maybe they should be in this draft, but they already have.
Yeah.
They are not desperate for a quarterback. They're desperate for an owner who doesn't throw his drink on the crowd, but they are not desperate for a quarterback. And yes, David, I am never going to let that down. I am never going to let that go. That is never going to be something I don't mention.
You're talking to him like you know him personally. Have you guys been talking about this? Did he send you an email?
Maybe I do.
Like, hey, jerk face. Hey, jerk face.
Maybe one of the reasons we aren't going to the league meetings is I don't want him to throw a drink on me. Okay.
I'll do it for you, David. Just let me know.
First pick. The team most desperate for a quarterback. It's got to be the Washington Commanders. They have the second overall pick. They're going to get one, but they're clearly desperate for one. They're not moving forward with Sam Howell as the starter. They've got a new coach. They've got a new offensive coordinator. They've got a new owner who wasn't there when they drafted Sam Howell. They want to get a new stadium. They want to get a new vibe. One of the ways you get a new vibe is to have new players, and the one player that makes the biggest difference is a quarterback. And good news for them coming out of last week, they're getting Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, and they'll be fine with either guy.
Yes.
At least they should be.
That's exactly right. You know, and hey, there's one. Hey, Russell Wilson, Dan Quinn, he was in Seattle when Russell Wilson was in his prime, right? But you don't hear that. But I hear you. The Commanders certainly are in need of one. Their fan base wants to latch on to something exciting at the quarterback position. They should run to the podium after Caleb Williams is drafted by the Bears and run to the podium to give them the pick for Jaden Daniels. All right, he is every bit as worthy of the number 2 pick. He's big time. And in a lot of years, he'd probably be the number 1 pick in the draft if it weren't for this freak of nature out in USC who has a, laser for a right arm and is just like the natural, right? So I'm with you there. The next one I'll go in, the Raiders. The Raiders, a lot of the same things we just talking about with the Commanders. The Raiders are desperate for it too. The fan base wants it. Right? They need something to rally behind. To me, that was one of the mistakes the last regime made. They should have traded last draft and got up there to give the fan base hope. I feel like Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels will still have a job there if they were like, hey, look, we got this quarterback. We're developing him. So I think that's one. Aiden O'Connell did a very good job, but I don't look at him to be the guy that invigorates the fan base and leads the franchise into the future. So I go Raiders there.
By the way, quick sidebar.
Yeah.
Now you see why there's a temptation to tank. The worse you do, the higher you are, and you don't have to trade up. The Commanders did just poorly enough last year to settle into a spot where they're going to get a guy that maybe the next team that I'm going to take. Well, you know what? I'm going to put a pin in the Patriots. I'm going to take the Falcons next. You can take the Patriots if you want. The Falcons are clearly desperate for a quarterback because they're linked to multiple veteran quarterbacks. They're the betting favorites for both Kirk Cousins and Justin Fields. It's not going to be both. It's going to be one or the other. They're done with Desmond Ridder. They never got it started with Taylor Heineke. He showed flashes. He always shows flashes, and then it settles down. They are desperate to get a quarterback there. And watch any game in Atlanta. They can't fill that stadium. You're not going to fill that stadium without a high-end quarterback.
Yeah, I hear you there. I don't think there's any doubt. That would have been my next pick, would have been the Falcons, right? You stole that. I'm going to go with the Patriots, though. I am. Yeah, the Patriots, they are desperate. It's over between the Patriots and Mac Jones. They both need a fresh start, right? They do. I don't feel like Mac Jones has ever gotten to be himself when he's been there because he bought in so into, I'm really going to be like Bill Belichick and I'm not going to talk or ever show you my personality in a microphone ever when I ever do that, even though everybody knows I have a personality. I'm just never going to show. Like, he got to get away. Start being yourself again, okay? He's got to get the hell out of there. The fan base, the Patriots, they want something different. You hear reports out of there, locker room, Mac Jones, not love there, all that stuff. The Patriots definitely need something.
And it's unfortunate because ownership has always been kind of behind Mac Jones, but I think you're right. The relationship has become so toxic.
Yeah.
Even with Bill Belichick gone, it's time for a change. And he introduces himself into this mix of guys who might be available for another team. The last one I'm picking is a team that isn't desperate but should be, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the things I picked up last week, when you're immersed in the entire NFL experience at the scouting combine, they really are committed to this Kenny Pickett, I almost said Kenny Powers. That would be an interesting quarterback competition. Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph competition without a veteran in the mix. Jerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette reported that a couple of weeks ago, and it's accurate. It's not a negotiating strategy. That's what they want to do. And I don't think they should be doing it, but they don't ask me. But the thing is, I'd say most people don't think they should be doing it. So they're not desperate, but they should be. Yeah. That's my third pick.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they need to upgrade, right? But at the same time, I don't feel like they're the type of team or that the Russell Wilson thing makes sense. That doesn't seem like a Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh type of move. It just doesn't, right? It'd be interesting to see where that goes. Mason Rudolph, I would expect to be highly valued out there as somebody's backup too. So he could probably drive up the price on Pittsburgh a little bit. I hear you there, though. I like that one. My last one, I'm going to go with the team we've talked about a lot. The guy talked about it. We need to get the next one right. The Broncos, desperate for a quarterback. Yes, they need something for the future. I'm expecting Sean Payton to draft a quarterback at pick 13, I believe. I wouldn't be shocked if they trade up a few spots. But I would think one of those guys is there at pick 13 to where Sean Payton can start molding his guy for the future to run his offense and be the robot he wants.
We'll have a much greater picture of who's desperate for a drafted quarterback after free agency, but there could be some movement on the board. Those are the teams that we have pegged so far. We're going to take a break. When we return, a team that has a quarterback that has to work out some contractual details, the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. He had some things to say. We'll talk about that next here on PFT Live. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.